The galaxy was silent, stretched across endless stars. For thousands of years, humans were only a story, a myth told by alien parents to scare their children. They said humans were wild, brave, and dangerous, but no one had ever seen one. The name Earth was just a forgotten word in old data files. Then one night, everything changed. In the control tower of the Zorath Empire, alarms began to scream. Strange energy signatures were detected near the outer rim. The readings showed massive objects moving in formation, hundreds of them. Their speed was impossible. Their design didn't match any known fleet. At first, the alien commanders laughed. A system glitch, they said. Maybe space debris. But as the signals grew stronger, their laughter died. The shapes became clear. Warships, dark and silent, moving with purpose. The Zorath scanners tried to identify them. No results. Then one of the ships turned slightly and light hit its surface. Strange white markings appeared across its hull. The computer translated the old language slowly, one word at a time. Terra. The control room froze. No one spoke. The word was ancient. It belonged to the lost race of humans. The officers looked at each other, eyes wide with disbelief. Impossible, someone whispered. Humans are extinct, but the ships kept coming, no lights. No communication. Only the deep hum of engines that sounded like thunder across the stars. And in that silence, one truth became clear. The myths were real. Humanity had returned. Far from the front lines, deep inside the archives of the Galactic Library, Dr. Karen sat alone. He was an alien historian, one of the few who still studied ancient myths. For years, he searched for proof that humans once lived, but no evidence had ever been found. When the first reports arrived about the unknown fleet, Karen thought it was a mistake. But then he saw the image and a warship with the word Terra shining on its side. His heart raced. He opened the oldest records, dusty and half-destroyed. Inside them, he found descriptions of tall creatures with fierce eyes, creatures who fought for freedom and never bowed to anyone. The last known record said, Earth has fallen. Humanity has vanished into the dark. But maybe they hadn't vanished. Maybe they had waited. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, panic spread. Alien news channels showed blurry images of the mysterious fleet. Some called it a ghost army. Others said it was a trick. Governments prepared for war. Then suddenly every communication system across thousands of planets went dark. Static filled the screens. A strange signal broke through the noise. A deep, echoing voice speaking in an old human language. The translation came slowly. Just 2 words appeared on every monitor, every device, every screen. We remember. The message repeated 3 times and then vanished. No one could trace its source. No one knew what it meant. But Dr. Kieran understood. He looked up at the stars and whispered, They're coming back. And somewhere beyond the edge of the galaxy, the engines of humanity roared louder, preparing for what was coming next. The alien High Council met inside the floating fortress of Varkon Prime. The great chamber was filled with tension. Every race, every leader, every general sat in silence, staring at the hologram of the mysterious fleet. Thousands of ships, all unknown design. Cold, silent, unstoppable. They haven't sent any message, said Admiral Threx, his voice shaking. They are moving straight toward the inner systems. Some leaders demanded peace talks. Others wanted to attack first. No one could agree. Finally, the Council decided to send a scout fleet, 10 of their fastest cruisers, to intercept the unknown armada. As the cruisers approached, their sensors picked up strange readings. The ships were old, but their technology felt alive. The lead human ship was enormous, larger than a moon. Its black metal surface reflected the stars, and blue energy pulsed deep within its engines like a heartbeat. Try to contact them, said Threx Static. No reply. Then one of the alien captains said, They're locking on us. Before anyone could react, the human flagship shifted position. A low hum spread across space and deep, heavy, powerful. The alien scanners flashed red. Energy surge detected. A single beam of pure light shot from the human ship. In less than a second, 3 alien cruisers vanished, nothing left but dust. The remaining ships fled in panic, broadcasting distress calls across every frequency. The galaxy watched in horror. No one could stop them. No one even understood how they fired. The myth was no longer a story. Humanity had made first contact, and it began with fire. Inside the massive human flagship Sol's Wrath, silence filled the command bridge. The crew stood ready, eyes fixed on the holographic display showing the alien fleets falling back in chaos. At the center stood Admiral Arya Voss, tall and calm, her eyes cold as steel. She had trained her whole life for this moment. For centuries, her people lived hidden, deep beneath frozen planets, rebuilding what the old world had lost. Now, humanity had returned to the stars. "Status report," Arya said quietly. "All systems stable. Enemy fleets retreating," replied her officer. Arya looked at the shining image of the alien worlds ahead. Once these worlds had joined the Great War that destroyed Earth. They believed the humans were gone forever, but humans had survived and evolved. Admiral Arya pressed a small switch on her console. A broadcast signal lit up across the galaxy. Billions of aliens looked up as their screens flickered, showing a human face for the first time in 10,000 years. Her voice was calm but powerful. "We are the children of Earth. We remember the fires you started. We remember the worlds you burned. Humanity did not die, we endured." Across the stars, silence fell. In the alien council chambers, fear spread like wildfire. The myths were real and the ghosts of humanity were speaking. Inside the flagship, Arya closed her eyes for a moment. She wasn't here for revenge, she was here for justice. But deep in her heart, a storm was rising because this was not the end of their return. It was only the beginning of Earth's legacy reborn. The galaxy had never seen war like this. Human ships moved like shadows, silent but unstoppable. Every weapon they fired turned the sky into fire. Entire enemy fleets vanished before they could even understand what they were fighting. Across the universe, the legend spread. The humans have returned. But not every alien wanted war. Some sent surrender messages, others begged for peace. Yet a few powerful empires refused to believe they could lose to an old myth. They gathered their greatest armies and formed an alliance to destroy humanity once and for all. The battle began above the red planet Vortar. The sky was filled with thousands of ships, alien and human, fighting in a storm of light. Explosions painted the darkness. Debris rained across the atmosphere. Inside Sol's Wrath, Admiral Arya watched the destruction. Her crew waited for her command. "Admiral, the enemy is falling back," said the officer. Arya's eyes darkened. "No, they're regrouping. They want one final strike." Her voice grew firm. "Hold the line. Humanity does not run." At that moment, the largest alien dreadnought appeared, a ship the size of a small moon, glowing with red energy. It fired a beam strong enough to destroy planets, but Arya didn't flinch. She raised her hand and said, "Return fire." The human fleet answered with a storm of light. The beam from Sol's Wrath cut through space, tearing the enemy ship in half. Silence followed. The entire galaxy watched. The myth had become reality, and humanity had become the power of legend once more. The war was over. The stars, once filled with fire and smoke, were quiet again. Wrecked ships floated like ghosts in the darkness, silent reminders of what had been lost. Inside the human flagship Sol's Wrath, Admiral Arya Voss stood before the wide glass window, staring at the remains of the battlefield. Her reflection looked tired but strong. Behind her, the crew waited for her words. Reports came from every corner of the galaxy. Alien fleets had surrendered. Empires that once ruled for centuries now bowed in silence. No one dared to challenge humanity anymore, but Arya felt no victory in her heart. She remembered the stories of the old Earth, blue skies, oceans, and laughter. Now there was only metal and ashes. Humanity had won the war, but at what cost? "Admiral," said her officer softly, "the Council wishes to speak with you." Arya turned to the holoscreen where alien leaders appeared. Heads bowed. She spoke calmly. "We came not to destroy, but to remind you. Humanity was never extinct. We simply stopped believing in peace." The words echoed across the stars. For the first time in history, alien and human stood together, not as enemies but as survivors. Soon after, a new symbol appeared across the galaxy, a blue star surrounded by silver wings. It was the emblem of the Alliance of Unity, founded by the humans who once were myths. Arya looked once more at the stars and whispered, This is not the end of our story. It is the dawn of a new one. And as the engines of Sol's wrath glowed once more, the legend of humanity began its next chapter, the new dawn.